Hi, I'm Medhat Yakan, Product Architect at Akamai. I would like to show you a short demo for our script management product. For those not familiar with script management, it's an Akamai product that allows you to monitor and manage third-party scripts on your site. These could be scripts that may have been added through tag managers, and they may be causing performance issues on your site. In this particular demo, we will look at how we can use script management to identify those scripts that are impacting and slowing my site, and how I can create a configuration to address this issue. And we'll briefly touch on how to test that configuration and activate it in the network. So let's get started. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm using this site that we've crafted to specifically show this issue. It's a simple site, and basically I might have gotten reports that it's slowed down recently. I might have noticed it myself if I have the Impulse, Akamai Impulse product. I may have noticed recently that my page loads have significantly increased. So I'd like to go and double check for myself and see what's causing this issue. So what I'll do here is I've started my dev tools in Chrome and went to the network pane and specifically disabled cache, so I get basically the results without any of the resources being cached locally. And I'm going to refresh my page and try and reproduce this issue that I'm seeing. So as you can see here, the rendering of the page is taking quite a bit of time. My DOM complete is up in 9 seconds time. It didn't used to be this slow, so there must be something going on on my site. I can use the basically the waterfall chart to look for what may be causing it, and I will see here that there's this script that we've conveniently called block because we want to block it later on, and this script that's called defer that are taking considerable amount of time to load. So that might be the issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and see how can script management help us address this issue, identify it and address it. So assuming I'm an Akamai customer, I would have this a property created for this site. So I'm going to go into that property now, and I should, if I'm not already a script management customer, I should enable script management, add the behavior basically, and enable script management as we see here. And there's also a dependency on Impulse, so I would want to configure Impulse, add the behavior, and configure the right API key. Before that, I would have to have configured the Impulse properly, but we will skip those steps for the purpose of this demo. Once I have activated the property, I can then go into my monitor menu and then go to script management with Impulse, select my site right here in the drop down, and that presents me with a list of information about my site. We'll go over them one by one. So in the left corner here under the drop down is basically a summary of what's going on with my site. It seems like there's 8 issues of high importance, 5 of moderate, and 8 low. Those are basically the detected script resources on my site and how risky they are to my site, what impact they may have. There's additional information to detail when this analysis was run by script management, and also what time, what's the period of time that the beacon collection was used to create that analysis. And this is based on the Impulse beacons that were collected for my site. On the right-hand side, you'll notice here I have selected the production policy that's already active on the network. And it's currently at version 6. We've iterated a little bit with this demo site, but I don't have any scripts blocked or deferred in this policy. So on the network, I'm not taking any action on any of the third-party scripts. Down here in the table below, I see a summary of all the resources that are on my page. By default, I'm in the group view, and I'm seeing the scripts grouped by basically a descriptive group or a domain name, and they're identified as third party or first party. And for convenience, there's also a categorization here, so you'd know basically what does that script do really. Um, it's an advertising script, it's analytics scripts, or something else. So what we want to do is we want to look at the analysis that's in here, and we can sort by that and look at things. And we're going to filter here. I'm going to ignore the first party scripts, which are typically under my control. Uh, but I want to look at third party scripts that are probably coming from tag managers or some other sources. And I want to see which ones are causing me problems potentially. So when I look at here, I could notice that they're coming from this site, renegade.ecolab.ca. This is a test site that we set up, and they seem to have some issues here. I can go into script view, and let's filter on third-party scripts again and sort by high. And I can see basically it's a couple of scripts here that are taking a long time to load on average, especially this script that says basically block.php. So this is probably one of the scripts that's impacting the site significantly. Um, I'm going to ignore a little bit the popularity here, but I'm going to touch on it a little bit. The reason is because this is a demo site. It's not reflecting actual data, but this is saying how often do I see that, and what percentage of the beacons do I see that resource. In this case, because this is a demo site and we've been blocking it for a while, it doesn't show up in most of the beacons. But if you look at the defer one, which we only deferred in previous iterations, you can see that's pretty much on all of the beacons that we capture. So this is something that I definitely want to look at. So just to recap, if this was a real site and I haven't had created any script management policy to proc things, this would have been also 100%. So now that I identified what script I want to focus on, I'm just going to go to editing menu, and I'm going to basically look for the same script, and I can filter by third party, or I can even filter by the script category or group or name, and I can take basically action on it. I can block or defer the script. So we're going to go and block the one that's called block and defer the one that's called defer. Before we activate this policy, I just wanted to touch base on some of the additional information that I get that tells me what's going on with the script. Why is it marked as high? The analysis reason in here is because the transfer time is above 1,000 milliseconds. And for this one, why is it marked as moderate? It's because the transfer time is between 180 and 1,000 milliseconds. There's also additional information in here, such as the testing suggestions. That shows me which are the most popular pages that reference that script that I can use later on to do my testing. So what I'm going to do in here, I've already gone ahead and selected block action for this script and a defer action for the other. And you can see that's highlighted. These are the things I've changed. If I remove my filter, I can sort by action. I can see the things that are highlighted are the actions that I've taken. Once I'm satisfied with that, the next step should be that I should activate it to staging and proceed to my testing. So let's do that. So as you can see here, because it's the demo site, I've already had a policy on staging that matches this configuration, so it's not going to activate it again. So we're just going to skip right away to how tested. Yeah, I wanted to highlight that we could have also used the script management policy tester to load our staging policy and test the changes locally without having to redirect myself to staging. I'm not going to go into the details. You can refer to the other video that I've created that goes into the details of how to use the policy tester to do my local testing. So now I'm back in the script management UI, and I'm gonna basically assume I'm starting from scratch. I'm gonna load the staging policy that I already have, which was the version 5 as we showed, and I'm gonna just double check to make sure which actions I have, so I can start that action. I can see that I have those scripts blocked and deferred, and then because I'm satisfied with the testing, I'm just gonna go ahead to my editing page, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and activate on production. Note that here I'll have a summary of which version is now going to be active on production. It's version 7 that's created at this date. I have one script deferred, one script blocked. And I have spot protection enabled in it as well. We're not going to touch on spot protection in this demo. The activation usually takes several minutes, up to several minutes. So what I can do is I can use the script management policy tester to basically figure out which, if the policy is already active on the network. As of now, I still see version 6, so I'm going to wait a little bit to refresh the page and make sure that version 7 is available before I do my final testing and see the results of my action. Again, I'm refreshing my page, I'm retrieving the policies, and I can see that version 7 is now already on the network. So I'm going to go ahead and see if this is now solving my performance problem. I'm going to go into the network pane and look at my metrics. And as you can see, that has significantly improved. I can look for those scripts, and I'll notice that the blocked script is now prevented from from downloading and running. And we use a service worker in script management to basically intercept the request for that script and return a 403 instead because there's a block action. And then if I look at the defer script, that defer script basically is running after page load. Again, the service worker, because there's an action on it, would basically intercept it, return the dummy payload, and then do a retry after the page load event. And that has caused my basically page load to decrease significantly from the 10 plus seconds that was before when I was having an issue to now like under 2 seconds. I can even go back to Impulse dashboard and notice that basically my metrics now have been updated. My page load has gone back down to its normal value. Additionally, there's no visual breakage on my site, so the actions that were taken have not affected my site. So this is a lot better place than we were before we used script management. So thank you very much for watching this demo. Please do give script management a try and use it to manage third-party scripts on your site. Thank you very much.